consider changing my voice. So, back in 2017, there was one of America's worst mass shootings. It was at the Route 91 festival, and the person there who did the shooting was at the Mandalay Hotel right next door. Mandalay Hotel, Mandalay, right? Gang stalking, gang stalking, delay, delay, and delaying. And it's referring to me, right? The alpha I. So when we see the AI, it's the alpha I. So the 9 is the I, and the 1 is the A, referring to what letter they correspond to. So you got the IA backwards is AI. Now, the shooter's name was Stephen Paddock, right? And I believe his girlfriend was a Filipino, which takes on new meaning in this case, right? Part of the targeting has to do with Filipinos in a certain way. For example, the female who I dated was the most attractive. Most people would probably consider her the one who was part black and part Filipino. And his name's Paddock is like padlock. And the Stephen, it connects to a lot of things, right? And they like to, they like to use that to harass me, right? Steven Seagal, right? They might, hack the brain of a seagull, believe it or not. Okay, Stephen as Captain America. They use things related to that, right? The word Captain America is a play on words for Captain America, and America is America. The word for horse, basically, in the Igbo language is Eri. Eri and horse are basically identical. They come down from the sky. They're sky, they're warrior sky gods, if you will, but really they're the warrior son of God. So a lot of times these occultists try to confuse you. For example, by saying Greek mythology is polytheistic. In a sense it is, in a sense it isn't. Anytime you have one main deity that plays the role of God in their mythology, it's basically monotheistic, and these other deities are like demons. But that's a story for another day. So in the Igbo religion, Chukwu is God. And some people who are gender neutral refer to Chukwu as Chineke, something to that effect. Okay, but Chukwu is really the word for God. And Eri is Christ, his son. And it refers to me. When you understand the characteristics of Eri and the fact that the transcendent martial art hero is the most honored of ancestors. So I've already went over time. I want to make this short. I know that there's some funny stuff in my throat right now. They messed up my mic. The suspect looked nearly identical to one of my neighbors back in California. And that's not a coincidence. And the person had walked by saying, "We care." Okay? And they do things to confuse me. No one they put in my life is on my side. They're all government plants. And so when you said "we care," it's a play on words for CR. So you see how they like to speak to me in code, and they do it in a way that's deliberate, and government workers have acknowledged to me that that's how it works. And on YouTube, I've come across maybe 5 videos or so, something like this, between YouTube and TikTok, that talk about magic spells, and that's a formula they use. For example, they talk about hello, right? Hell, O, etc.